In the United States, the Supreme Court has allowed an anti-abortion law in Texas to take effect. This new law bans most abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy and throws the legal status of abortion in the United States into question. It will apparently bar approximately 85% of abortions in the state. So, if one is not a doctrinaire Republican or a radical Democrat, how should you feel about it? What is the liberal position on this issue? It seems acceptable that, in circumstances of medical necessity, abortion should be permissible. But when the procedure is elective, we find ourselves presented with questions of moral choice. In her 2008 presidential campaign, Hillary Clinton used the term
safe, legal, and rare. And by rare, I mean rare.
This was an easy formulation upon which a liberal could consent to as a compromise. We can all agree that any medical procedure should be safe, and the current contention in Texas is, of course, whether it should be legal. But I'm most concerned about the final word, rare. This is interesting because it presupposes a certain standard of virtue to which men and women are obliged to uphold. I say men and women because it takes two to tango, but this issue is framed as if it is only the woman's choice, and so it is only the woman's responsibility. The problem I have with all of this, of course, is that it is not rare. At all. Since the passing of landmark case Roe v. Wade in 1973, there have been approximately 62 million abortions in the United States. This is an average of about 1.2 million per year, and although in recent years that number has trended downwards to under 900,000 per year, this is a staggering number of pregnancies terminated. Are we to believe that there is no moral weight to this number? It seems that a distinct lack of virtue has abolished the final component of Clinton's formula. Should it not be appropriate that abortion comes with a moral judgment? After all, it seems to be the consequence of personal choices. Instead, much of popular culture actively promotes abortion as a positive event for women.
If you want an abortion, get one!
Moral issues aside, it can lead to significant health and fertility problems. Abortion is not a risk-free procedure. Women can and do die during it, although thankfully this is uncommon. Also, studies have shown that repeated abortions can significantly increase the chance of a miscarriage, and too many abortions can leave a woman infertile. There is also the question of the political alignment of abortionists. The abolition of the moral requirement of rarity makes it permissible to use abortion as a contraceptive. However, it's not a contraceptive. The baby has already been conceived. What it is quite an aggressive method of preventing a pregnancy from gestating to term. This will often be dismissed by suggesting that an early trimester abortion is simply terminating a clump of cells, but this is merely a semantic trick. By this definition, any animal can be described as merely a clump of cells at any age. What this is an attempt to abolish the moral guilt attached to the ending of a human life for personal convenience. We can see that it isn't merely a clump of cells through our own grief when a woman suffers a miscarriage. This appears to have come from a distinctly and quite extremely progressive political position. In 2017, Hillary Clinton herself appears to have modified her own formulation, dropping the requirement of abortion being rare and merely being safe and legal, as if there is no moral fault attached to the act of terminating one's own unborn baby. This seems to be a product of her increasingly left-wing drift on the political spectrum. So, is Texas right to ban abortion? The Christian says yes, life begins at conception. The progressive says no, it's a woman's right to terminate an unborn child. The liberal, stuck between these two hardline positions, must either eject from the conversation or reflect on whether the moral compromise is being respected. Is abortion safe, legal, and rare? Well, in the United States, it was relatively safe and legal, but it seems that the left has reneged on the rare part. So why should the liberal, who likely views abortion at best as a necessary evil, agree to its legality. Simply arguing that people will continue to commit illegal acts is not an argument against laws. And if the only way to ensure the destruction of the unborn is a rare event is to make it illegal, what other options do they have?